Once again, and final intermission here at Matthews Arena, formerly the Boston Arena. Bernie Corbett, Mark Linehan, and well, I guess my line for tonight was it all started here, it all ends here tonight. When we talk about it all started, this building opened in 1910. It was a palace of skating and hockey right from the beginning. Talk about the Greater Boston, the GBI, the first high school hockey league in the country, right here, circa 1919. Hobie Baker playing here, the great Hobie Baker. Baker plays tonight was all they had to put up on the marquee. First for Princeton, then coming up with the St. Nicholas Club, playing here at the arena, and competing often against the BAA, the Boston Athletic Association. And the teams that followed, 1917, we mentioned, BU, actually 1918, 17-18, but 1918, February 6th, their first game against Boston College. On the newspaper report, the Newton Collegians, as they were referred to. And the Harvard Informals playing the Boston Wanderers. You got to love the names at that time. Northeastern would begin play here in 1930. Boston College, of course, played all their home games here until 1956, until McHugh Forum opened. Harvard played all their games here until Watson Rink opened in 1958. And the Terriers, of course, were the last to leave, the last tenant to leave, and they left in style. In 70-71 season, their last season was the year of Boston University's first national championship. They were a perfect 15-0 in this building, and went on to a 306-158-11 record here as the home team. And currently 346-177-19. So they've had a tremendous history. And one of the notes with Rick Sachs on the hockey blog, and I think it was from Boston Stats today, was great to see a name in the first victory for BU over Boston College. Well, the first victory was, the first victory for the program in January 11th, 1923 against Mass Aggie, which was UMass, as a matter of fact, truth be told. And was a note about that. And also was a note about a gentleman that I actually met who was the Boston University goalie back in the 1920s. Great gentleman, Sid Silverberg. And Sid Silverberg was the goaltender. Talked about him and a shutout victory back in the early days for Boston University. Just great to see his name in print. He was a great gentleman. 1953, the Boston Arena Christmas tournament started here. BU won the most. They won 6 overall. The last 5 that they competed and won. And, of course, arguably the most legendary and famous game in the entire history of this building, let alone the fact that the Bruins played here for their first 4 years, including opening night on December 1st, 1924.
Charlestown 2-1 to win the city championship.
Not quite that provincial. But the Boston Arena Christmas tournament featured the 2 Eastern powers, and boy, they would end up vying for national championships and Eastern supremacy for the next half decade. And it was BU and Cornell for the Boston Arena tournament championship. And that game was just epic proportions, and it introduced really everybody in hockey to a sophomore. Remember, freshmen weren't eligible, netminder by the name of Ken Dryden. And Ken absolutely stoned the Terriers through double overtime. The game ended 3-3. Ned Harkness and Jack Kelly still argued about it years later on a podcast that Paul McNamara and I did with the original Hockey on Campus on ESPN Radio. And the two of them just shouting at each other. I'll never forget about, you wanted to stop the game, I wanted to keep playing. No, you wanted to stop the game. It was great entertainment that night, believe me, with those two great icons of hockey still debating what happened in 1966. But there was no debating the greatness of that game. And 1918 to 1958, BU battling Boston College. And the reference I made was the 10 in a row started with a Sid Silverberg shutout on March 4th, 1926. The record of the coaches, you may ask. Harry Cleverly, 126-65-5 here. Jack Kelly, 96-31-1. Wow. 754 winning percentage. Kelly, 656. Jack Parker, not too shabby. Who never coached here as his home rink, but 34-16-5. 664 winning percentage. And another thing you share with Jack Parker. Jack Parker got his first goal as a Terrier, Mark, was noted on the blog today. Thank you to the hockey blog. November 30th, 1965. Jack Kelly and Jack Parker in a 7-0 win, playing for Jack Kelly over Yale, got his first varsity goal as a sophomore.
I bet it was top shelf next to the peanut butter.
Where else? And as a shout out to women's hockey, BU had a club team until Brian DeRocher founded the BU varsity team in 2005. The BU women's team, as a club program, won the Beanpot in 1981 and did not win again, of course, until 2019. They won several Hockey East championships and double shutout. Beat Northeastern 4-0 in the opener and right here at the arena, and then beat Boston College 4-0 in the final. And the goaltender was a neighbor of mine, Lisa Whitcomb from Stoneham.
Wow, who'd have thunk it?
Yep, absolutely. So she led those Terriers, the Lady Terriers, to what was an amazing, with a club program, defeating a couple of varsity programs with Northeastern and Boston College. And just great, great history. Once again, what started here? I answer everything started here. From the Bruins, the Celtics in 1946 on the side of basketball, high school hockey, the state tournament, the home also to MIT and Tufts, the home to the Boston Olympics, was the semi-pro team, and then the Boston Tigers and Cubs. And of course, you can win probably a couple of drinks, Mark, to say that not one but two NHL teams started in this building. Of course, the New England Whalers, Jack
Kelly,
Kelly,
won an Avco Cup here.
Their first season. Jack Kelly at the helm of the program, left Boston University after the back-to-back national champions. Didn't break stride, won another championship with the inaugural Avco Cup for the WHA in 72-73. And there was a great photo shoot here, and I've got to find a copy. 1951, Life magazine, the year after BU played in Colorado Springs in the fourth NCAA tournament. Colorado and Michigan came into the building, and there's just a exquisite, a beautiful, multiple photo, color spread of Jack Garrity in the 1951 BU team.
Is he wearing the right jersey?
You're darn right he is. What else would he be wearing? There you go. And of course, from the sports world with Babe Ruth, who spent a lot of time playing pickup hockey and
was he a
coming
good
down.
guy?
Oh, he was a prince. Always bought a hot dog for you. Presidents.
An arena wiener.
That's right. He founded it. Presidents. Teddy Roosevelt in 1912 speaking here. FDR on his first presidential campaign for the White House in 1932. JFK in 1946 as a candidate for Congress. My birthday mate with General Eisenhower speaking here with Admiral Nimitz post-World War II. On music, the Alan Freed Rock and Roll Review and Jerry Lee Lewis. The Doors playing here in 1970. I got the album, The Doors, the Doors album that was recorded here. From boxing, the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis, Jack Dempsey, the Manasseh Mauler, Gene Tunney, Rocky Marciano, Marvin Hagler. Figure skating, Sonia Henney, the Queen of Ice, Tenley Albright, the great Olympian, Dick Button, and another Stoneham reference with Nancy Kerrigan, who skated here as she was making the comeback after the incident with Tonya Harding, pre-Olympics, getting back on the ice. And from the world of track and field, Paavo Nurmi, the Flying Finn, running here, one of the all-time great track athletes and runners of the 20th century. It all happened here, and sadly it all finishes, of course, the Beanpot starting here in 1952. And one last note about Tom Ryan, and once again, thank you to the blog today. December 9th, 1987, the Terriers here, 4-4 overtime tie, game-tying goal. Tom Ryan sent that one to overtime with Mike Sullivan, the current Ranger coach, also scoring the year that Tom was captain of the team. It all happened here, and it will all happen here in the third period. The Terriers trying to overcome
that
a
trumps
3-2.
all the stuff I did here.
And Mark, your first goal, Boston Land, your first hat trick.
Yeah, first win as a coach. I won a City League championship here as a player and a coach. I won a dual County League championship. No, not me, as a coach. Just probably got about 250 games in here between playing and coaching. Not even counting the times I hung around as a kid. And
the hours that you spent here, as you recounted.
Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable.
With your brother,
Yep.
who was coaching, and then you were telling me about your Uncle Jack.
He was the goal. Uncle
was the
John
goal
was
judge,
the goal
right?
judge. All Saturdays and Sundays when they played triple headers, I'd sit right down in that runway there, shooting pucks into an empty net with a broken stick because my mother didn't want to hang around me. Yeah, I got a lot of history in this place. It's been pretty cool, pretty important building to me. I kind of learned how to play hockey here. Not that well, but
Well enough to be a Hall of Famer in your own right.
yeah, thank you.
As Mark often reminds me about the Latin School Hall of Fame, between you and Jack O'Callaghan, how many gold medals?
1.
Thank you. All right, we're ready for third period action.